Hey guys, what's up? Guess what is official? I've exited corporate America. Guys, I am off the market forever. First and foremost, guys, if you are new here, forgive me for the background noise. Those are my kids. But my name is Ijeoma Love Obiajulu, also known as ThatTechMom on Instagram, and I'm a millennial mom of five, also a self-made millionaire investor. I achieve financial freedom, and I'm here to help you do the same. So I just wanted to do a very quick video on basically how I was able to go from being a broke pre-med student to a self-made millionaire investor, exit corporate America, and achieve financial freedom. This is probably not going to be something I can cover in one video, but I just wanted to kind of let you guys know about this moment in time in my life. Although I could have made this decision years back, because my husband actually exited corporate America 4 years ago or 5 years ago to start up our private equity firm, I decided to continue working because I love what I do. Of course, working for a company gives you health insurance, and I have 5 kids, so it was just kind of not the right time, but now is the right time, and I'm just so happy and blessed to be able to say that I've exited the corporate ladder, and I just want to share my tips and advice. So first and foremost, I want to say the first thing that I did was believe that it could be done. I think it's very impossible to achieve something if you can't see it. You know, the fact that we have airplanes, the fact that we have Facebook, these were all things that were envisioned by someone. They didn't just, they had to believe that it could be done. And so for me, I knew that I could exit corporate America, that I would exit corporate America, that I would essentially achieve financial freedom. I just didn't know the right time. And so that's another thing that I would say is don't try to force it. The career journeying, wealth building, this is a marathon, it's not a race. So for me, it was very hard in the beginning of my career journey because I'm such a perfectionist. I want things to be perfect all the time. And I really wanted to achieve the results and the results that I wanted early on. But I said, no, that's not how it goes. Rome wasn't built overnight. And there are things that you need to learn, skill sets that you need to kind of acquire that will help you in the next phase of your life. And so the fact that I'm actually, running my private equity firm with my husband, and our private equity firm is CIO Capital Management, the fact that we're able to run it so in such an agile way, we're able to scale companies so quickly is because we're taking what we've learned from corporate America and we're applying it to the businesses that we acquire. So taking a step back, my journey, I was a pre-med student, broke pre-med student. I actually dropped out of 2, not 1, but 2 post-baccalaureate programs, one at Drexel, one at UPenn. And that was after finally deciding that I did not want to be a doctor, because I eventually learned that this dream that I had, it was actually my dad's dream. And I'm so sorry about the background noise. I am. And so here I am, the first daughter of, immigrants. The only thing that I wanted to do was to make my dad happy. And I said, what would make him happier than knowing that his first daughter was a doctor? So eventually, once I decided that that wasn't my calling, if you will, I said, okay, what am I going to do with my life? And so one thing that kind of guided my decision was money. I knew I had to have a high income job. And so as a Nigerian, you're kind of left with only a few options. You're either a doctor, an engineer, a pharmacist, or things like that. And I did neither. I actually went a route that a lot of young black girls, immigrant girls, 12 years ago didn't go into, and that is technology, analytics, data science. So I grew in my career from being a self-taught programmer all the way to an analytics leader, all the way to an analytics strategy leader in a management consulting firm, and then as chief of staff at Nordstrom for their data science organization. And I absolutely loved my role. I loved everything about it, but I knew it was time. And the fact that all the stars aligned, our businesses, we were acquiring another business, and that really needed strategic oversight. So it just all made sense. It was all the perfect time. So that's one thing I want to tell you is that first and foremost, believe that it can be done. First advice I'd give you, believe it can be done. Number 2 is to not force it. Trust the process. This is 12 years in the making, guys. The fact that I can, I don't have to clock in, I don't have to upskill, get new certifications to get 6 figures in income every month. That's not something that happened overnight. We built ourselves to that level. And so that was the third thing I wanted to say is teamwork. A single woman, independent woman, I am so for that. But I think there's so much more that can be done when you have a partner. And maybe that's not necessarily, your husband. It might be a very close friend, someone that you trust dearly. But partnering with someone to help achieve your wealth building goals is really one way that you can, in my what I like to call 10x, right? What you really scale and get to where you want to be a little bit faster. So I wish I could go into more details, but this was just like an overview and just to give you guys like, you know, a high level kind of timeline of how I went from being a broke pre-med student 12 years ago to becoming a self-taught programmer and then an analytics leader, chief of staff at Nordstrom. And now I am now managing partner at CIO Capital Management, which is our private equity firm. And this is a company that my husband and I founded for, well, I would say 5 years ago. We started out with one company and now we have over 7 companies and we are growing and expanding rapidly. So we employ over 90 people globally and we are doing 7 figures in revenue. And this is just a, you know, it's a dream come true. It's the American dream. You know, this is something that everyone wishes for their child. My parents, you know, they came to this country with absolutely nothing. And here I am able to say that, look, mom and dad, I don't need to work for anyone anymore to make the money that I need to make to really feel comfortable, to go on vacation for a whole month and not have to worry about my bills, you know, to take my kids to the best schools and to the best programs and, you know, to just have this lifestyle that I've always dreamed of. I'm a mom of 5, as I mentioned, and I had no intention of working, you know, crazy hours, missing out on important things like, you know, basketball games and football games and track meets. I wanted to be there for my kids. And so going back to kind of the main nuggets of, or the advice that I would give you, like I said, number 1, believe it can be done. Number 2, I would say is to trust the process, take it step by step. 3, I would say is to have a partner in crime. You need a support system. That is absolutely critical. I think the 4th thing I would definitely say is to really understand that this is something that isn't for everyone. Everyone has a unique path in life, and maybe entrepreneurship, business is not for you. Maybe you are someone who wants to work for another company and you like that, you know, structure, you like that organization. That is totally okay. It's a beautiful thing that everyone is not made the same and everyone doesn't think the same or feel the same or desire the same thing. So don't feel guilty. I just found I knew what I wanted in my heart. I knew that I was definitely going to end up, you know, building something for myself, for my family, and building a legacy with it. And so I'm going to wrap this up by saying this whole wealth building journey is something that came with a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, a lot of sacrifices. And I'm gonna kind of chronicle all that stuff in my channel just so you guys can get an idea of the struggles that we went through, how we kind of glowed up, how we kind of glowed up. I like to say glow. We glowed up, you know, in the sense that like we kind of blossomed into what we are today, and it wasn't overnight. So anyway, so what's next for me? What's next for me is as managing director of CIO Capital Management, I'm responsible for really focusing on creating initiatives, executing initiatives that can help us work smarter, not harder. So looking at our people, process, technology, and figuring out where can we do better, where can we maximize profits and maximize revenue. So I'm actually now leading our sales team. So we have our CIO logistics team. We have over 12 sales team members, account managers, and I'm here to really help them understand, look, what can we do better? You know, how can we get new accounts? How can we improve our closure rate? You know, what can we do to actually nurture these accounts that we have and get more sales? So that is what I'm focused on, creating our sales strategy, executing it. And one of the things I'm going to implement is the SMART template, so helping us define SMART goals. So that's kind of what I'm going into now. It's a great phase in my life, and I love the fact that I can work from home. I can work from anywhere. I don't have to, you know, I don't have to worry about getting fired. I don't have to worry about, you know, being laid off or a company closing or anything like that. This is a company that we've built with our hard sweat, tears, hard work, sweat, and tears. And it just feels good to know that this is our baby that we're growing together as a husband and wife and as a family. So it's a legacy we're building, something that we can hand off to our kids and say, hey, you know what? Akachi, Jidechi, Machi, Sanachi, Zion. Her name is actually Zachi too, so I didn't go crazy on the last baby. This is a company that mommy and daddy built, 12, 15, 20 years ago. What role do you want to play in this company? And I want them to continue that legacy. That's something that immigrants don't have, or I would say a lot of Nigerian immigrants. I think Indian immigrants are a little bit better at this, kind of coming to America and really looking at alternative ways of cash flow. But Nigerian immigrants, we tend to be a little bit less aggressive in that approach, and we want to change that narrative. We are totally unlike our parents. We are very we are risk takers, not risk averse at all. Sorry for the background noise. I think I need to get to my kids. But long story short is I exited corporate America. We achieved financial freedom. Actually, we achieved financial freedom 4 or 5 years ago. But the fact is, I stayed on board in corporate America because I love what I did. The health insurance gave me stability. But it just doesn't make sense to work for a company for 6 figures when you make 6 figures in a week with your company. It's not financially wise, right? So I'm investing my time, my energy into our private equity firm. My name is Ijeoma Love Obiajulu, also known as ThatTechMom on Instagram, and I'm a millennial mom of 5, also a self-made millionaire investor. I achieved financial freedom, and I'm here to help you do the same.